Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the James Ramen Reviews for yet another episode. In today's episode, this might feel weird that it's just going back to me again after the big collaboration with Tom Duncan's in the Minecraft movie, and I'll link all that down below. But today, I have another really special review for you, as this is an Indian movie I watched last night. It has been on my recommended list from, shout out, my friend Manraj, who has been recommending the film to me, as he is a guy that was into this film, and he was like, you know what, James, I think you might enjoy this movie, I highly recommend it. And so what the movie is called is Kesari, the 2019 film. Watched it last night on Amazon Prime. There will be spoilers in this video as it's been out for years, and it's one of those movies where you have to go and watch it. Please go and watch this movie, because I really did have a blast with the movie, and it does a lot of things I really do enjoy. So be delving into a few elements of the movie, so if you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it. So I'll just give you like the plot summary. I'll just read it here so I get the main character's name right and the plot right and stuff like that. So Havildar Ishar Singh, a soldier in the British Indian Army, leads 21 Sikh soldiers in a fight against 10,000 Pashtun invaders, right? However, what unfolds is the greatest last stand wars of all time. So what you have here is you have like this historical epic. The movie is 2.5 hours long. This is kind of what it is about. And so how did I actually feel about this movie? Now this is not going to surprise you whatsoever, but I just really did enjoy this movie. There is so many ways in which I can describe the film. So the first major thing about the movie is that it does so much really good groundwork in being able to tell the story. We establish Havildar, we establish these characters, they give you about an hour to invest in these characters, and then the last hour and a half where they continue to build on the story it's telling, and it's just really clever how it's all really done. I will be honest that when they have these jokes about like roosters and chickens and how, oh, imagine 21 soldiers going up against 10,000, it's like, okay, the movie's starting off slow, but then once it starts to finds its footing, it really just becomes pretty much, I would say, close to a masterpiece as more time has sat with me. And the reason for that is because obviously the pacing, but another thing to mention is also the performance of these actors are really, really good. I think they all really do their best, and you can feel, you know, the emotions and stuff like that, so it's really good in that front. And I like the action where it just starts off with Havildar, he's got his gun and he's hitting these guys, and you know, the Pashtun kind of invaders and stuff like that. He just hit these guys, and then later on in the movie, because this is a spoiler, you do have a scene where the 21 soldiers are just sniping the enemies from above, and it's like they actually know what they're doing. Like, they use their brain instead of going all guns blazing and stuff like that. Like, that is just really clever. The song choices, because it's a Bollywood movie and stuff like that, it's a Hindi language film, it's going to have some songs, but there's not really a lot of songs. Like, it's just him singing in his head to his love partner, like something you would expect in other Indian movies. But then there's this one where they dance a certain way and they're like boom ba boom ba boom ba boom ba boom, but like doing this with their head, and you're like, you know, they're all in this kind of collective experience. They're all dancing and enjoying the time they have with each other, expressing their emotions through this song. So it's like, really did appreciate that about the movie. Like I said, the action is really good. And the main villain of the movie, I will be honest, like, that is probably the point where it was close to being a 10 out of 10. Because the villain, it takes quite a while to really get into the villain's story, and then when you start to see the villain get crazier and crazier and crazier, it is like you just watch something like an Indian version of the Gladiator, where he's got like this mindset, this big goal in mind. He goes absolutely crazy and all of that kind of thing. And so there's definitely all of that. You've also got to mention that this movie does look like it feels like it's a high budget film. There are sections in here where you've got the British being like, oh ho ho ho, the Indians are just slaves. but it tells like a really grounded story, which I do like. Like, it's not like the other Indian movies where you see this big action spectacle, you turn your brain off. Like, there are points where you have to actually, you know, pay attention and understand the story for what it's trying to say. And another thing I like about the movie is that Halvidar's like actual turban, and let's mention this right now, like the thing that he wears on his head in the movie, like the turban means everything, because see, as somebody that's not like, you know, a Sikhist or whatever, I could just still understand that, yeah, of course, the turban is everything because it's part of the culture. You want to represent what you're all about. And so when he goes from the yellow turban to the saffron turban, see that turning point, or that turbaning point, no pun intended, right? But yeah, when he gets to the saffron bit and he becomes even more powerful, and that is what Kesari means. It is the definition of saffron, and all of that, like that thematic choice where they did that was cool. And towards the end of the movie, you figure out quickly that they couldn't really kill 10,000 of these soldiers, and then you just feel really bad for these characters. You start to see the list of names of people dying, and you're like, oh no, this is starting to get crazier and crazier. And I will say as well that there was a point towards the end of the movie, the last 20 minutes, my internet cut out, so I had to reboot my entire internet. And this is just the power of this movie and the power of Indian cinema. It gets to the point where you watch it so often that eventually that internet is going to cut itself out. You have to restart it. Like, that is an interesting element, I would actually say. And obviously the internet came back on and finished the movie. So honestly, there is a lot to say about this movie, and obviously you do start to see that the main character, Havildar, does pass away, but he passes away knowing he's a happy man that did his best to serve his people. So I would honestly give this movie a solid 9.5 out of 10. It is probably one of the best Indian movies I have watched in my life, and if you've not watched it yet, I don't know what you're doing, because yeah, it was on my watch list for a while. I was like, yeah, I need to watch this, and honestly, do not regret it. It's just a really good movie. There is so many choices, so many good writing material and stuff like that, and the reason why I would say that it's 9.5 out of 10 is because of some of the pacing. Yeah, but the pacing goes like that later on, right? And it's also just that the stuff about the British, like, it's stuff you've seen before already, and the way I forgot to mention this, right, but the way the British try to speak Hindi in the movie, it does get a bit corny and get a bit cheesy. So not the greatest hour of, not the its finest hour, but once it gets past all of that, and then it shoves the British to the side and it focuses in on Havildar and his army and like his soldier, you know, all the thing going on with the soldiers and their kind of fleet, if you know what I mean, all of that just to be considered here. Really good stuff. So honestly, that is my review of Kesari, the 2019 film, and thank you, man Raj, for making me watch this movie. Like, this man actually has the taste of a lifetime. So yeah, peace out. I can't stop like enjoying these types of movies, can I? So yeah, bye.